Hi everyone. I had a request to do a video on my seat that I have on my Ryker, and let me do a little chronology for you here. Maybe I can crack my helmet visor here a little bit. I've got a lot of wind going on, so if you got some wind, I'm sorry about that. But this is the initial seat. This is the original seat. As you can see, it's just a closed cell foam with a rubber base on the bottom of it. And the way these things fasten, there are 4 grooves in the bottom of the seat pan, this part of the Ryker, and these little things, you can pinch them like this and they kind of go down in there and they kind of lock. This is the part right here. You can see it in the sun better. This is the part, this is the size of the little slots they fit into, are these little guys right here. And if you ever want to take one of these off, it's easy. You just grab one corner of it and slowly pull up and it'll pop loose, pop loose. Do that 4 times and you got it off. It's not a bad seat. I mean, it's too soft for me, but to come with the bike, it's not a bad seat. So first thing I did was I got a fleece cover for it. And you can get these off Amazon. They're very inexpensive, maybe 40 bucks. And to make it more contoured to the way I want it, I took an old yoga mat and cut it up and glued it in place here. And that kind of gave me a little bit more up, because the way the seat sits on the bike is sort of at a downward angle like that, like this. And it is a sport bike, and you tend to slide to the front. And this kind of dives. You see this big opening right here. This isn't up against the tank. That's just an opening you can put your hand down through. So anyway, I got this, and that goes on well. It just fastens on with a little strap, and that helped a little bit. Certainly makes it a little cooler. But in search of something better, I went ahead and ordered the Can Am seat, the expensive seat. This is it right here. It's more of a fabric-y feel, certainly around the edges. It's a good seat. It's expensive. But I liked it, and it was a little more like what I wanted. It seemed like to me it was a little thinner in the back, a little taller in the front, to give me, again, more of a level seat rather than a tilted seat. But it still has the opening. It still tends to be down a little bit in the front. Now this fastens a little differently. It uses the same slots, but it has these little plastic grabbers here. And when you go to put it on, it couldn't be easier. You just center it up and pop it down and it clicks right in place. To take this seat off exactly the same way. You just grab a corner and you pull, and one side will come loose, then the other, then pull the front up and the back pops loose. And so it's a good seat. It's a real good seat. It just hasn't worked out for me the way that I want it to. After a while, I still get a painful butt ride, I guess you could call it. But anyway, so this is what I got now. I got the Corbin seat. This is it right here. It says Corbin on the other side, but it's more of a leather fluted kind of seat. It fastens a little differently. Well, first of all, let me comment on it. As you can see, it dishes up more in the front. It actually has something in the front here. You can't see it hardly under the bag, but it does come up in the front instead of down. And so that does tend to make me stay in the seat more. And because I've got my legs stretched out so far, I need something to keep me from sliding forward when I do stop. This bolt mounts a little differently. This one actually bolts on, which makes it very secure. Nobody's going to steal this. In the very front, there's a little piece of metal that comes with that bolts to the frame, has a hole in it. And the very front of the seat has a little spear that sticks right in that hole and holds the front. And the back, you take one bolt out of the seat pan that's holding the seat pan to the frame and run that bolt all the way up through, and it threads into a boss that's made onto the bottom of the seat. Now the bottom of the seat is metal, and so it threads right into it. Took a little bit of effort to get the hole to line up right, but other than that it worked fine. But let me get you a look at the other side. Pardon me for my bike being dirty, because it's pollen season here in Georgia, and if you don't, every 5 minutes it gets a sheen of pollen. But there you can see the Corbin name, and it's, like I said, it's a real good quality seat. Initially, it seems like it's going to be great. But I'm going to take it for a ride now and check it out. It'll be my first ride on it. See you in a bit. Okay, this is my first test drive since installing the new Corbin seat. Initially, it feels very good to sit on. It's, of course, as you would expect, extremely comfortable, at least initially. The styling, I like the styling because the front of the seat raises up a little bit, which the other two seats tend to sort of dive down, which is more with the sport bike design and function. But seems to be okay. I mean, it's wide enough for me. Like I said, it does feel comfortable. It works well with my backrest. Seems to at the moment. But you know, the only thing that's really going to tell is by riding this thing for a few hours, and I just don't have time right now to do that, and I want to get this video out because it was requested. And so I'm just going to take a tool around the block here and just get my initial feelings on it. It's like all good seats that I've ever been on. It initially feels hard. It initially feels firm, and I found that at least with my Ultimate seat, that was perfect. That was exactly what I wanted. I didn't know that was the case, but you know, that's the way it worked out. Hi guys, sorry, thank you, appreciate it. And but the seats that are soft initially, to me, seem to become less comfortable as time goes on. The hard seats, if there is a discomfort level, it kind of plateaus off. But like I said, right now this feels good. I'm going over these little speed humps on purpose just to see if, you know, a little shock to the butt, see how they're doing. But they seem to be okay. I may still want to adjust position on this. I think maybe by adjusting my floorboards and foot pegs, highway bar pegs a little bit, I can get more of my thighs onto the seat. Too much, you know, for me it's very uncomfortable if my tailbone is pretty much the only thing in the seat, because that's a pretty narrow area. If you can get your thighs on the seat too, it spreads the load out a little bit. But because I'm, you know, because I'm over 6 feet, I had to make the adjustments to the floorboards and all this, and I think I'm going to move them a couple inches farther, and I think that'll get my legs down. My legs are, I can just get my fingers between the bottom of my thigh and the top of the seat, and so I think a couple more inches and I'll be able to spread that weight out. But anyway, I don't want to waste a lot of time on this. I just want to let you know the initial test seems to be good. I went around a few corners. I don't have any problems staying in the seat, and it is still extremely comfortable, which after just a few minutes, of course, it should definitely be. So, all right, well, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful. And if you have any questions, be sure and comment, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.